Hi, happy Monday. This is the 16th. It was nice to meet with some of you over the weekend. Everyone I met with, it was nice to meet with. Those of you I got to meet with, I enjoyed talking with you over the weekend. And if you'd like a conference for yourself, not too late, we have a lot of semester left, although it really goes quickly at this point. So let's get together. If you'd like to, just drop me a note. You're finishing up your paper this week, your rough draft of your second paper. And I hope everything's going well with that. Touch bases with me if you're having any difficulty. It is a rough draft, so you can revise after you're done. But next week, on Wednesday the 25th, we're starting our happiness conference, and that's something I wanted to give you a little overview of. In academia, we researchers, we write a lot of research like you've been practicing in here, and you've been practicing because this is what we do in academia. We kind of build the body of knowledge in the world by talking to one another and debating, sometimes very spirited debates, but academic debates doesn't usually come to blows, occasionally maybe. A way that we get the word out is through journal articles, and when you've done your library exercise and you've explored the databases, you've seen a place where the research is frequently disseminated. But another thing we do is we have conferences, and conferences might include something like a poster presentation where you put all your important findings into a giant poster, like a trifold big poster, and there might be an opportunity to read a paper. I think that's going out of favor a little bit. People don't like to be read to very much. And in my field, creative writing, we like to be a lot more interesting than that. So we often have panels where we get together and have a few words, and then we sort of duke it out orally, like issues about writing and audiences and all the things we care about. It's the same. I know some of you are pre-med, and this process of publishing research and then tearing apart research, it's how we find cures for things. It's really an important thing that we do. So we're going to have a faux conference. The premise is that we're happiness scholars, and we're having a happiness studies conference. And interestingly enough, that's a real field. Kind of a celebrity who goes to my church from time to time who teaches this at MSU in my town, Yakov Smirnoff. You don't know who that is, but he was very big in the Reagan administration, this comedian. So I recently heard a presentation at my church on a happiness studies topic. It was kind of interesting. You don't have to be a comedian, a Cold War, Reagan-era comedian to fascinate your classmates. Your job is to turn your paper, which won't even be in the final draft form yet, turn your paper into a speech. And you can't just read the paper. That's not how it works. You have to adapt your material for a different audience demand, right? Paper, we can all read it and see, like, follow things along. If we miss something, we can back up and look at previous page and kind of catch up. We can take our time. With a speech, of course, it's just all in a rush. Hopefully not too much of a rush, paced. But there's no rewind for a live speech. There's no script that we can refer to. So the needs of a speech, as you know, are really different than the needs of a paper. You need to give an intro where you forecast some of your main points, and then throughout you need to reorient your reader by reminding them of where you're going, where you've been, and at the end you kind of need to recap. Here's what I just said, and that proves da-da-da-da-da, whatever. So also your sources you have to introduce orally. So instead of just relying on, we don't actually rely just on parenthetical citations in our papers because I like a more discursive approach in this humanities-focused class. But, or I should probably social science-focused class, I should say. But we really like to spice things up in the papers, so we always introduce sources. But in a speech, you must do an oral citation. You must say, according to Joe Schmo, author of such and such an article from such and such a website or such and such a journal, da-da-da, whatever. All right, so backing up. See, the way you do in a speech. Backing up, you have to turn your paper into a speech, and you can't read the paper and call it a speech. Um, you're going to need some fresh, lively material in it, things that will keep your audience engaged, some examples, and you know what else you should probably use are visual aids. In the past, I've required 5 visual aids, and I've left it open. You could hold up like a prop and say, this phone represents happiness to me. And that would count as a visual aid if you made it relevant and tied it in. And sometimes people use PowerPoint or Prezi. I love Prezi. So that's another way of going about it. But this time I think I'm going to let you decide how many visual aids you need. You probably need some to do an effective job and keep your audience captivated. So you're going to turn your paper into a speech that's no longer than 10 minutes, and you're going to employ some aids. I think you're going to find this assignment not so challenging since the work is already written, but you just have to recast it. That's the goal anyway. I thought we could make our projects do double duty and triple duty so that we wouldn't be so busy with things this semester. Okay, so that's really all I had to say about that, but I wanted to get it on your radar because it's happening next Wednesday online, and you're just going to be posting videos in Panopto. I'll make a place for that, and you'll your classmates will look at videos, and we'll each look at like a certain number of videos. I'll look at all the videos, but everybody in the class will be looking at a certain number of videos and providing some feedback, not good or bad, but scholarly feedback. That idea is flawed, or the real strength of your argument is this, right? So that's what's going to happen. I'll give you some written details on this today too. Those will be going up, but I didn't want you to be wondering what was going on. So anyway, nothing else from me. I hope your week is an excellent one, and I hope to hear from some of you if you'd like to have one of those meetings that I was talking about. So, all right, see you later.